my grandpa liked wrestling, and that didn't translate. That I wanted you to defend wrestling because you said you watched it earlier. Explain to me why, because I hate to shit on somebody else's fun time, but when I look at that, I think, man, this is silly.
You don't watch wrestling?
I've never seen it, so I'm in the same boat as Kyle.
What are you guys, gay?
I guess so.
Are you what's going on here? What's wrong with you? You guys don't watch fucking cool shit. I bet you don't watch Japanese cartoons either.
I watch some Japanese cartoons, but at least they let you know that this is a silly Japanese cartoon. It's not a bunch of racist 40-year-old men who are sexually assaulting the.
Well, that's when you find out, Kyle, it is actually
cutting themselves in the head.
That's when you find out.
Take a look around, pal. Everywhere is 40-year-old racist men. Now that we're
not
40,
here.
Now that we're 40, it seems like everyone we know is 40-year-old.
No, Pokemon was not for racists. Great show. Or it was in the 90s.
I can't believe you guys don't watch Japanese anime.
I just don't like that.
Don't pivot. Don't defend the wrestling to me. Look, I'm
making my debate harder even. I can't believe you don't watch wrestling.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think of like some things that you guys might.
What's the best thing you've seen while watching wrestling, and you were like, "Wow, glad I tuned in tonight."
So what's your favorite, like I guess I wasn't making a point with anime that I didn't realize that would make sense right now, but what kind of shows do you watch? What's a story, like something that you enjoy?
I like crime dramas. I like, right now I'm watching The Penguin on HBO. It feels very much like Sopranos a little bit, like proto Sopranos, like the Penguin is learning to be Tony Soprano.
You rewatch Sopranos?
Yeah, I know it works.
And then there's parts that come up that you're like, oh, this fucking episode, this moment right here.
Yeah, the Pine Barrens.
You're like, I can't believe he just said that.
Sure.
Like they're like, because you know what that means, right? He said that because this happened, and you remember what the other guy said that time. Yeah, he knew the whole time. And you have a fucking moment where you're like, fuck yeah, man. Oh shit. And it made sense in season 4 because of the thing that happened in season 1 and 3. And that's like what really makes it huge. And you have that little moment. But like wrestling.
Here's where you're losing me, I think. I can't buy into it being not just a make-believe silly thing that they're doing on that stage, because it's not even a stage, it's a ring.
Well, it's like a play, right? Like you're supposed to watch it like you have your favorite characters, and then you have the ones who are literally called heels because you're supposed to dislike them.
You have to like it's like, for example, like wrestling, the way it's revolutionary and perhaps the time is different now, and it is such a weird place for wrestling to navigate. I'm surprised that they're doing it in such an incredible fashion, because wrestling, the real time was when it was a show and it started to exist. It's like the 80s. You've never seen guys this big. Literally like 90% of it back then is like, look how big these motherfuckers are. And they're guys in underwear like boom, boom, boom in the ring and fucking doing like the dumbest moves. But they're like, Andre the Giant is like, people are like, we're going to this shit. This guy's apparently 10 feet tall. And it had this thing. And then, Vince McMahon and the WWF at the time, like come in and they just like make these, 40-year-old racist meth head biker dudes. They just spin it like they're superheroes. And so as a kid at a time, you might like buy into that and really like that's easy shit to eat up. And you're like, oh, this is real or whatever. And then you kind of hear that it's not real or whatever. But he did jump off that rope. You know that as a kid. You're like, wow.
Yeah, but he planned to. Yes.
Yeah. And you, the winner,
Chris Benoit did kill his family.
Okay, that wasn't part of the bit, though.
So
he's committed to the craft. What a villain! What a heel!
It's terrible what happened to his family.
That was the same. The only time I know about this because I talked about it on O&A, but apparently that was like when Vince McMahon faked his own death in like a limo crash, and then like 2 days later, Chris Benoit killed his whole family, and so Vince McMahon had to be like, I'm not dead, and it's tragic. What happened?
I think he came out at the beginning of the show, and he was like, "Yeah, I think so. Something silly happened. I think maybe he said it at the beginning of the show, and then they were like, yeah. So now, enjoy wrestling."
Did you watch the documentary on Netflix?
I did, but I don't remember it. But I remember, I know details of it. But
the production of it and the way it came about is the interesting part. So it is a documentary that covers Vince McMahon, wrestling business, the history of it, etc. But during the production of this documentary that Vince McMahon is full-heartedly taking part in, all the allegations came out and the truth behind them, and all the lawsuits came out, and we found out that Vince McMahon was a vicious, sexually assaulting criminal, horrific kind of character. But he's in there sort of like, we did things our own way back then. Like he's sort of like he doesn't know that he's being attacked, because he wasn't being attacked when he recorded his parts.
Yeah.
But now that the narrative has shifted, they're able to play that footage, and it looks doubly bad
with spooky music behind it, like dum dum dum, like making
it and like
worse.
And that business is dirty. Like there's so much sexual assault was going on with the women and boys. At the end, they're like the last episode of the documentary, they're like, oh yeah, and there was these like page boys. I don't know what a page boy is. I think it's like a personal assistant, a runner, like on a film set or something. That's what comes to my mind, and like I've seen that in my experience, like someone who just runs and gets shit, like an assistant who does all. But they made it sound like they were banging these little boy dudes. And then they were covering it all up. There's always a conspiracy.
With wrestling, there's like, even if someone doesn't like wrestling or doesn't see the appeal, the world of wrestling is so huge and fascinating in so many ways that there are countless documentaries you could watch about wrestling without even watching wrestling. And it might spark an interest for you to want to check out what the fuck happens, because there's so many things behind the scenes and sidelines that when you like watch wrestling, what I was saying before is like how you watch your favorite show and you're like, whoa, I can't believe he said that. Because remember in season 1 and season 2, like wrestling, there are things that have been planted for like 15 years.
Yeah.
In a way. And then when something else happens in the wrestling universe, but that in real life, that guy 8 years ago fucked his fiance, and then it was like, and then a body was found dead in that hotel that same night. So it's crazy that they're doing no needle match, like, like it's like it has like this history and attachment to it that you're like, whoa, I can't believe that's happening. But yeah, so it's silly.
What draws me to it is
it's also still physically impressive.
So I think I'm a golden age guy, maybe a little bit. What do they call Hogan? Like the intensity era or something like that, like intimidation era, something like that. No,
there was the attitude era.
That
was after Hogan. That was like when Hogan was
Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, Hollywood Hogan.
I like that.
That's crazy. That was crazy shit, because that was before reality TV was a thing, and they were doing some really crazy reality TV moves. But there's this documentary called Monday Night Wars, and you can watch it if you have the WWE network or whatever, but I think it's available in a few places. But yeah, Monday Night Wars, it's WCW versus WWE, and it's so fascinating, the beef that they have, because this guy Eric Bischoff, Ted Turner wanted to beat Vince McMahon. He just wanted to beat him, so he was like, take all the money you need and make it happen. So he went around and started buying up wrestlers like Hulk Hogan and everyone. And the wrestlers were like running the show. So it was kind of crazy. And whoa, what are they doing for a bit there? But then very quickly it was like, all these cokeheads are running the show. They have no idea what they're doing. And, but they both had live shows on Monday night. Like the live thing was a big deal. And they would do shit like on WCW once. They would find out what was happening on Monday Night Raw, because Monday Night Raw wasn't live, it was taped from the weekend, and they would go on and be like, yeah, no point in turning to WWE because mankind X, Y, and Z happens. They would say that at the beginning of their live show. Yeah, their show's live, so people would be like, whoa, that's crazy, and then not watch Raw. Now they have to see what happened on WCW.
It's dirty business.
But one time they were like, oh yeah, mankind beats The Rock in a title match or something, and they lost like 80% of the people that were watching that night. The ratings dropped. All these people checked in.
I like Ric Flair, and the legend of Ric Flair, I guess I'll say, is what I really like. I like the ESPN 30 for 30 on Ric Flair. I choose to believe it's all real.
I cried during that.
I might have cried a little. Yeah. It's pretty emotional.
I was lying. Haha, you're gay.
What? Why would you like? What was?
Oh,
there
look
that
at this
was
fucking this
tear-jerking?
ketamine guy wants to cry, eh? You want something good to cry to after this, eh? You want to fucking do some lines of ketamine? Take
There's
out the
nothing
journal and
about
have a
Ric
nice-
Flair.
You want a nice cry? Okay, I got you.
See, he's doing his own heel turn.
What made
Get him,
you
Woody.
cry? I was trying to ask what made you cry without
knew,
like
yeah.
passing judgment on.
No, I didn't feel judged at all. That's why
Okay.
I felt it was funny to
Good.
make a joke. Because I actually
His
didn't
son
feel
died.
Yeah,
His,
I flipped it.
His
and
son
judged
died,
it.
and he's like he's talking about the death of his son, and he's crying to the camera a little bit toward the end. His son has
Oh
some
yeah.
tragic death.
Well, for me, yeah, it was attached to the son. For me, it was he was there and he was like so sad, and he was talking about how his son wanted to be the wrestler, and then his daughter Charlotte, who wasn't going to be a wrestler, became a wrestler because she like loved her brother so much, and like it was his dream, so she became the champion at WWE. And Ric Flair's there like, and he's crying, but you could just gather so much. There's like a level of estranged father-daughter things going on here, and it's like really like this moment is so complex. The way I was taking it, it's like she won this for her brother, but her dad is there. It's obviously like a moment for him too, but I don't think she did any of it for him, but he's there like it's for him too. And I'm like just making a lot of this up and inferring it from watching from this documentary, but it's just like it was so complex and crazy and like low-key a little sad, you know.